I had heard out of the corner of my ear, because NPR sometimes talks about some of the headlines out there, that there's a ranking of the top 10 cities for infidelity or cheating. The main one I could find close to this year dealt with Canada, which link will be down in the underbar. The reason why I want to draw attention to this is because this is a social issue. It's a sex negativity issue. Because we're making a spectacle out of infidelity as if we're holding up, monogamy as being you're this or you're scum. Something that even nice guys or semi-nice guys have to deal with is the baggage of all the other guys who've been cheating, lying bastards. But the point is, cheating doesn't need to exist. Even this infidelity stuff does not need to exist. This is us trying to hold to a system that we were not evolved for. I'm not downing monogamy. I want people to be extremely clear on this. I myself am entering into a monogamous, very permanent relationship that will not be open, in which I'm going to be with one woman the rest of my life. I am also polyamorous. I'm making a decision because I've found somebody who completes me in ways that almost no other woman has. But that's the point. I had to discover this second option, which, no, I'm sorry, isn't cheating with permission. And polyamorous people aren't dirty or probably STD riddled simply because they might sleep with or choose to engage with in sexual relationships, but relationships nonetheless, with more than one person. Because never in these scenarios can it be safe, consensual, and without the involvement of animals or children. No, no, no. Anybody who's not monogamous must be engaging in dangerous sex. And you're either monogamous or you're outside the bounds of morality. And therefore, you are not a person anymore. If you get sick or you happen to get an STD from a less than on the level partner, well, we're not supposed to care about you. You're a slut or you're a man whore. And yes, I know you will say, but Octavius, guys are encouraged to sleep with as many women as possible, but women are not. Well, this is where the backlash of a lot of things like radical feminism is coming from. They're responding to and holding up a mirror to us to try to say that this is not okay, that men can be man whores and they need to be held accountable. Because when a woman cheats, oh, we make a big deal about it, but when a man cheats, well, it's just par for the course, which should be insultative to most of you men out there because it means that you're always ready for sex, which means that you cannot be raped. And if you're a young teenage boy, you cannot be molested, especially by a woman, because you're always ready for sex. Men are built for sex. We can't be monogamous creatures because we're too sexual. Never mind the women that can be that. Oh no, I forgot. They're female chauvinists. They do not belong to the healthy, normal female anatomy or psyche and are therefore outside of the bounds of acceptable female morality and are therefore non-people. We just want to sweep them under the rug, pretend they don't exist, and if they pop their heads up, we want to shame them to get back under the rug, right? But here's why I'm saying this is a non-story. This is all this isn't holding up a mirror to immorality at all. If you think that, then you're a moralizing twat. I'm sorry, but there's no better way to put that. You've been taught this restrictive, rigid way of living your life, and anything that doesn't fit into that rigidity, is automatically bad, wrong, and should be shamed, should be held up as a reason for us to be. What this is, what these lists represent, is exactly what I've been talking about and a reason why this channel should exist. It represents the breakdown of human sexuality on such a level that people are not talking to each other in the bedrooms. They're not willing to listen to each other if it doesn't involve some sort of procreation in some cases. Or they're just not taught this because we think that if we teach it, they'll do it, or they'll do it thinking that they have a natural excuse. And this isn't about excuses. This isn't black and white. This isn't you're either with us or against us kind of stuff. But we've made it into that. We've not only weaponized sex so that if you ever take a naked photo and somebody passes it around at your job, you can lose your job. Because we don't take too kindly to you sexual types around here. We demean people, men and women, trying to say, oh, this is how you get your kicks? Wow, must suck for you having such low self-esteem. Never mind the actual science of somebody who is sexually expressive in healthy forms. No, no, they're a slut. They're trying to fill a hole in their life, a hole that some people say can be filled with Jesus, and that they can't at all be a healthy human being, doing what healthy human beings do with their bodies, and not hurting anyone but themselves at the very most, if that. No, we want to shame them. We want to shame couples away from talking about sex to each other. We want to shame them away from any position that is not missionary. We want to tell them who they can do it with, how many times they can do it with, and for what reason. We want to tell people that sex is evil, sex is bad, carnal desires, desiring even your own wife is evil, wrong, and is not to be entered into your thoughts unless you're going to transform those thoughts into an act of procreation. And it's hurting us. I'm willing to bet that some of the people in these cities are absolute scum fucks, okay? They do exist. I am owning up to the men who just don't understand themselves enough, or just don't care about women or about themselves, or are too self-involved to understand the inner mechanisms and the boundaries and everything else that comes with sex. But that's just it. We don't talk about it. We're not willing to even discuss that, hey, maybe Brian is not built for monogamy. And to force him into monogamy is to set him up for relationship after relationship after relationship that will break down. And it's not entirely giving Brian, an excuse if he chooses to cheat. I myself never used my polyamory as a mechanism or an excuse to cheat because I've got morals. But some people are just not, they don't realize that there may be a reason for it. Oh, but if a man or even a woman wants sex a lot of the time, they must have either been molested or they're too hypersexual, so there's something wrong there, or they had bad role models or whatever have you. Or option three, instead of, hey, maybe you're polyamorous, maybe you should explore it with partners who are also polyamorous and who understand the lifestyle and the ways in which one carries themselves being polyamorous, which isn't, I get to stick my dick into everything kind of territory there. Maybe, just maybe, we could get these people to understand that not everybody who's healthy and sexually expressive is a sex addict, okay? Because that is why, my friends, I do not like that terminology. Can sex addiction exist? Absolutely. Almost any activity can have somebody who cannot handle it without it being a disruption to their life and the lives of everybody around them. Even masturbation can be an addiction and can actually be harmful to one's health, as much as sex and masturbation are healthy and helpful for the human body. But I feel very much that sex addiction is way, way overdiagnosed because people just want an excuse to vilify somebody more, to vilify sex more, and act as if sex is the enemy, instead of saying to ourselves, maybe there's a cause in some of these cases that has nothing to do with an out and out addiction. But no, no, we would rather just kind of pretend that sex doesn't exist unless it's for procreation. And even then, we're not going to want to talk about what turns us on, what our partners could be doing better, what they might not want to do again, and so on and so forth to increase the bonding, the compatibility, and the kinds of things that can save marriages that should not otherwise have died. Sex negativity is destroying this traditional model of marriage. The sooner that we realize this, for those of you who are fundamentalist and traditionalist, the sooner that we can bring about a new age of couples being able to communicate about the most basic needs in the bedroom and living happier and, more importantly, healthier lives in their lifetimes, and not having to slip off this ring and being angry and frustrated and wondering, what didn't I do, or what did I do that was so bad, because you don't want to talk about it. It's time that we as a species and as a people grow up. Sex is natural. Sex is healthy. Sex helps our bodies. Sex helps women's bodies, especially those with irregular or heavy periods that would need something like, say, a contraceptive to otherwise regulate. We cannot turn a blind eye to this anymore and then continuously hold up these lists, tee-heeing like little school children on the first day of sex ed because, hey, look at these people, they couldn't keep it in their pants. Oh no, instead of actually caring about the cause, we're just going to point to them, laugh, and pretend that that is a solution to this social problem. Spoiler alert, it's not.